Alright, hey there folks, this is Tim from Racing Central. I'm just going through and testing my screens that I would use for live streaming. I thought I'd put them on a video so that people can give any comments if they want to. This is me here, hi. If you've watched any previous live streams, you'll note that I have changed rooms. That's why I look like I've just moved in here, is because kind of did. One thing that I kind of want an opinion on is whether you actually want to see someone holding a steering wheel on the corner of the screen, or would you prefer just the simulation kind of full screen? Normally, before any live stream, I would say hello on this screen, try to keep it to a minimum amount of time, which is why I have a clock counting up at the bottom so that I can keep it under a minute, because one thing that's kind of annoying with a lot of videos is when you have to have someone in the comments that tells you what time the actual information starts. So this video is about KartKraft, and it's been out on Steam Early Access for about a year, and they've actually just made an update to it which fixes one of the issues that I was having with Atlanta Motorsports Park. So I thought I would jump in and give it a go. Not, Testing. Okay. Alright, so rather annoyingly, it's lost my control profile. There we go. Let's fix that. For some reason, the sound was looping weird there. That was nothing to do with my system, as far as I know. A little bit annoying is that it completely lost my controller profile between the last time I ran the game and this one, probably due to the update. Maybe that's in the release notes for the last update. Not sure. But still, it's kind of annoying when that happens. There's no profile for my wheel. I have the TSX W Racer, but the internals and the rotational degrees and things like that are very similar with the T500, so I just loaded that profile and rebound the controls. I'm going to leave everything else as default because obviously the way that I figure for an early access title is the best way to show it in its actual current status is to use it with all of the default stuff. Yeah, I need to have VSync enabled to try to stop screen tearing, I think. That should be okay. All right. All right, so we have control. So in the last year, I know that they've added a lot of different race modes and things to the game. You did just have time trials, I think, and now there's quite a lot of different drive options. You do have, as well as the time trial that I think it launched with, which you basically... Have I lost my... Yeah, I think my time has disappeared, I guess. Well, basically you you start off with a... you basically selected with an opponent. You have to beat that opponent. When you've beaten that opponent, you move to the next one up. So it can be quite a long process to kind of work your way up here. That's called face-off mode. Minimal mode, you just basically drive with no distractions, set the fastest lap you can, your time will be submitted, so that allows you to kind of jump up the order in one go. Most of you that have checked into the game since its launch in early access will already be familiar with that. I'm going to do a race. So I did, when I previously ran this offline, Legend wasn't fast enough. They would break a little bit early for me. The straight line speed seemed to be about the same, so that was good. All of these options, hard and medium, which I also tried, I never tried easy. They would break earlier. They would accelerate later. And down the straight, my kart was actually faster than theirs. You know, it was a typical rental kart scenario where basically someone has a faster kart than you. I was that person. So I actually tried adaptive, and it worked amazingly well. I was really, really pleased with that. And I'm not sure if that's how it's kind of supposed to work or not, but you know, it is obviously on the higher end of the scale. You know, if this is the easy side, if you go through Legend, you have adaptive, and with the adaptive setting, the only thing was that I found that was still a little bit annoying was that they did just still seem to break earlier than me, and yeah, I'm not sure if that is my bad driving, because you know I've not done any professional karting. I don't know if slow in fast out is something that I'm not doing enough of. So yeah, so there's a maximum of 8 AI right now. The X30 kart I quite like, so I'm just going to stick with that. Sunny is fine. I'm going to change this to Atlanta Motorsports Park, which I know very well because I actually surveyed it for another racing game, and I've actually driven around it in a normal car, not actually a kart, but I obviously know that the layout that's in KartKraft is very accurate, so that's a big plus for the title. So I didn't actually adjust the setup before. but I was running out of gear a little bit. I'm going to leave it as it is, though. Again, you know, I want to give the developers a chance to kind of use their default stuff. Okay. Okay, well, first impressions of the new update. Physics still seem great. Sound still seems great. It's not really balanced with the menus, the music, which I'm not a big fan of the music in the menu in most games, so I turned that off. But the audio for the engine is a tick louder. So I actually had to turn that down in my recording software, which was kind of annoying to have to do. But yeah, it would be nice if the upper level of audio in situations when it's on 100%, if it was actually balanced, so that you could then turn the percentage down and it would actually turn down that amount relative to what 100% should be. But anyway, the physics seemed good. Something that I did notice when I played previously was that they would crash in turn one every time. They didn't do that. So that's really cool. I actually saw that in the release notes for this last update. What's really cool is how breathless I am, which is not unfamiliar with karting. You know, this is like a very raw experience driving a car in this game. It's much like getting in a real kart, which, like I say, you know, I've done no professional stuff. It's still rentals. Let's give that another go now. Wow, these AI. Alright, so as I mentioned there, I'm kind of wondering if having cold tires is kind of getting to me a little bit with the handling. Obviously that's me, that's not the game. AI are definitely a little bit slow there. Okay. So I'm starting to get a feel for the physics again. I don't really recall feeling it before, but I definitely feel now that for the first lap at least, the tires just aren't working as well. And that's actually pretty cool. Main menu. The reason why I'm going through the cycle of going back to the main menu and everything is because I want the adaptive AI to update. I'm not exactly sure how they update, whether if I had have restarted the race, they would have updated or not, but I basically want to go through the cycle so that they will be on pace with me each time, because then I get the better race. when I turned on adaptive AI last time, I'd already been through the other difficulty settings, so I'd already set sector times. The game had probably already recorded enough data from me to know how fast the adaptive AI needed to be. Whoa. Whew. Okay, so I think I could have been in contention for the win there if I hadn't have braked while the car was light going down the downhill towards turn 2. That was good stuff. I'm not sure if I'm actually doing a good job of breathing while I'm racing. I think I'm kind of holding my breath stupidly, like... I'll just try restart race. Oof. But as you can see, the adaptive AI are pretty much on my pace, which is exactly what you would want. Not enough racing games get this right, and it leads me to go through this whole kind of process of trying to set the AI to my speed. Like this just works really well. You know, for the amount of laps that you do in a qualifying session, during a race, stuff like that, there should be this option, and it should work this well in every single racing game. Slightly over-ambitious there with that overtake of that slower car. I should have just waited behind. Wow. How great was that AI? 1:09.7. I'm definitely getting down to a faster lap time. Okay. So I don't know if this stuff seems to get wiped with every update. It really seems like it does. So I'm just going to do one more race, I think, and then kind of call it a video. I'll probably watch the replay afterwards and give kind of any thoughts that I have at that point. How was 50.4 my fastest lap? Not sure about that. Oh, hang on a minute. Event. Okay, so lower numbers increase acceleration while sacrificing top speed. So lower numbers increase top speed on this one. I don't know enough about karts to know whether I need to do both or balance these out in any way. Like, it's literally just at the end of that straight. I don't think that was my fault. I left him space. Oof, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to turn down the game audio. Alright, so my elbows hurt, my wrists hurt. I'm sweating. I think apart from the notches in my back from the seat of the cart and the bruising around my ribs, that's the only thing that's missing from making this a very, very, very real experience of karting. The AI is decent. They make the kind of mistakes you expect AI to making finished titles. You know, these in this day and age, the AI is very, very complex, and I'm not always sure that that's a good decision to make it more complex, but that's what developers are doing right now, and it makes them less predictable, but it makes them more prone to unpredictability, if that makes any sense whatsoever. The handling, though, it's so good. The graphics are great. There's a few little glitches here and there, but I'm really, really quite impressed with this. And as far as Atlanta Motorsports Park goes, it's as accurate as my recollection of being there and having photographed and surveyed every single inch of this place. It's pretty decent, you know. The price of the early access for this, it's not that much, and if you have a kid that goes to any of these locations that are in KartKraft, it makes sense to get this game, even though it's early access. Thoroughly impressed when I compare it to what are considered upper tier simulations like R Factor 2 karts, for example. These are easily on par. I actually think that this might actually be better, and that is from somebody who worked with the studio that made R Factor 2. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about seeing where this is going to go. The only things that really concern me are the music in the menus is kind of annoying. Hopefully they'll take that on board. That just could be personal taste, but I don't know. The other thing, I don't know about whether they're planning microtransactions or whether it's kind of an in-game currency, like you have a career, you earn in-game credits from racing and results, and then you can buy yourself a better kart kind of thing. I think that would actually be really great. But if they're planning kind of microtransactions for individual karts, stuff like that, that's not something that bothers me, but it is something that can affect a product in terms of sales and stuff. So if anything, I just hope they'll be careful with that, and careful and considerate. So yeah, sorry if I've repeated myself at all, or been kind of random with my thoughts, but I'm recording this live as if it was a live stream, trying to get myself back into doing that. I haven't live streamed on my own channel since July 4th. So yeah, I just thought I would record it, test out the Race Sim Central stuff. Like I said, let me know what you think of the overlay. Let me know what you think of having a camera of the person driving on screen during. Personally, I don't think it adds that much, but let me know how you feel about that. Another thing that I've done with this recording is that I've shown you a lot of default things. So it's the default driving view, it's the, you know, the default settings for the wheel, even though I had to use a different profile. I haven't adjusted them at all, so my opinions are based off that. You could probably get this software and fine-tune it so it's even better than I'm saying. That's probably something to consider as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We do post, or I do post, a lot of stuff on Facebook, Twitter, that's kind of modern sim news. Instagram, I post a lot of retro stuff, which is quite a lot of fun to get into. Check all that stuff out. Thanks. Bye-bye.